The Anunnaki gods are coming back. Pentagon's biggest secret. Sumerian mythology is one of the most fascinating mythologies in the world. And if you study Sumerian mythology carefully, you will discover a race of gods called Anunnaki. This race would have come to Earth many years ago, would have created the human race only to be slaves working in their interest. These beings would have lived about 432,000 years. They were almost immortal compared to the human race. It is believed that the Anunnaki were the creators of man. These powerful gods left Earth in the distant past, saying that someday they would return. Curiously, if you look at ancient cultures around the world, most of the creator gods left Earth and promised to return someday. According to certain researchers and authors, the Anunnaki must return to Earth to fix what they had done wrong in order to accelerate a spiritual awakening and the evolution of human consciousness. The Anunnaki could return to Earth, according to a recent interview with Stan Deyo, who said NASA and the Pentagon believe the Anunnaki will return with the arrival of the planet Nibiru. But wait a minute, Nibiru? The Anunnaki and all these things really exist? In Sumerian mythology, the Anunnaki were a group of good and evil gods and goddesses who came to Earth and eventually created the human race. The existence of the ancient extraterrestrial civilization, the Anunnaki, who came to Earth in the distant past, has long been disputed by researchers, yet its existence and its arrival on planet Earth is well documented in many ancient texts that the history has completely ignored, according to numerous authors from all over the world. Curiously, there are certain African cultures that believe that extraterrestrial beings have been visiting the Earth for tens of thousands of years. For example, Zulu legends speak of a time when visitors of the stars came to dig gold and other natural resources. These mines were worked by slaves created by the first people. According to some sources and interpretations, these gods came from Nibiru. The Assyrians and the Babylonians called the planet Marduk. The Sumerians said that a year on the planet Nibiru, ASAR, is equivalent to 3,600 years on Earth. Is there Nibiru? According to the Washington Post, a celestial body possibly as large as the giant planet Jupiter, and possibly so close to Earth and that could be part of this solar system, has been found in the direction of the Orion constellation by a telescope in orbit aboard an astronomical infrared satellite in the USA. All I can tell you is that we do not know what it is, said Jerry Neugebauer, chief scientist at IRAS. R. Harrington wrote a very interesting article in the 1988 Astronomical Journal. Harrington suggested that there was a planet 3 or 4 times the size of the Earth, and that it was in a position 3 or 4 times farther from the Sun than Pluto. According to the mathematical models that were presented, it is believed that planet X, or Nibiru, has an extremely elliptical orbit of 30 degrees. In 2008, Japanese researchers announced that according to their calculations, there should be an undiscovered planet at a distance of about 100 AU, astronomical units, that is up to 2/3 size of the planet Earth. Many would say that this suggests that a planet like Nibiru can exist. It is believed that the average life expectancy of the Anunnaki was 120 SARS, which is 120 Sun x 3,600 or 432,000 years, according to ancient texts. The list of Sumerian kings is perhaps one of the most important ancient texts that perfectly describes a moment in history in which, literally, the gods ruled for thousands of years. After the rain descended from heaven, the rain was in Eridug. In Eridug, Alulim became king, ruled for 28,800 years. Alaljar ruled for 36,000 years. 2 kings ruled for 64,800 years. One of the most interesting details on the list of Sumerian kings is the fact that the earliest list describes 8 kings who ruled the earth for a total of 241,200 years. Since the original royalty had descended from heaven to the moment of the Great Flood, which swept the earth, and once more, the kingdom was lowered from the sky after the flood. Alternative theories? According to Greg Braden, an American author of New Age literature who wrote about the phenomenon of 2012 and was noted for his claim that the Earth's magnetic polarity was about to reverse. We only have 20 active codons of 64 existent, so one has to ask, why did the source of creation limit our genetic abilities by inactivating most of our DNA. One theory is that our DNA was limited by the Anunnaki to keep us in submission, control, and conformity with our Anunnaki teachers. Many believe that the Anunnaki are the ones who have controlled us for millions of years and know the true genetics of man. Many authors claim that the Anunnaki, who may be the gods mentioned in numerous cultures who promise to return someday, have complete control over us as they are the creators of man. Simon Parkes, a UFO researcher, says we have 12 strands of DNA, and each strand is related to a specific galactic race. Hypothetically, if we can find a way to ignite the latent codons in our DNA, we could practically do anything, like heal all the people on the planet instantly, as well as heal our planet. A Pentagon whistleblower recently came up with an incendiary statement. It seems that the Anunnaki gods are returning to our planet. Being our creators, Anunnaki possessed very advanced knowledge of human DNA. They can control and manipulate the entire human race. It seems that they feed on the negative energies resulting from fear. If we take the whistleblower's words, these Anunnaki are the true leaders of the human race. Conclusion: the Anunnaki return, ancient myth or imminent reality. The idea that the Anunnaki, the ancient gods of Sumerian mythology, are returning to Earth is one of the most provocative and hotly debated theories in alternative history. According to ancient texts, these beings engineered humanity, ruled for thousands of years, and then departed with a promise to return. Now, whispers from Pentagon insiders, NASA scientists, and UFO researchers suggest that their reappearance may be imminent, possibly tied to the mysterious planet Nibiru. But is there any truth to these claims? Or is this a modern myth fueled by conspiracy theories, misinterpreted science, and sensationalism? The Anunnaki, ancient gods, or extraterrestrial engineers. The Sumerian tablets describe the Anunnaki as powerful deities who descended from the heavens, created humans as a slave race, and ruled over early civilizations. Key details from these texts include: they came from Nibiru, a planet with a 3,600-year orbit around the sun. They genetically modified early humans, possibly limiting our DNA to keep us subservient. They lived for hundreds of thousands of years, making them near immortal compared to humans. They left Earth but promised to return, a theme echoed in many ancient cultures. If these stories are more than myth, then the Anunnaki were not just gods. They were advanced extraterrestrials who played a direct role in human evolution. Nibiru, the missing planet X. One of the biggest controversies surrounding the Anunnaki's return is the existence of Nibiru, or Planet X. While mainstream astronomy denies its existence, there have been intriguing hints. 1983, IRAS satellite discovery. NASA's infrared astronomical satellite, IRAS, detected a large, unknown object in the direction of Orion. Scientists admitted they didn't know what it was. Astronomer Robert Harrington's research. In 1988, he proposed a super-Earth-sized planet with a highly elliptical orbit beyond Pluto. Japanese calculations, 2008. Researchers suggested an undiscovered planet at 100 AU, twice Pluto's distance. If Nibiru is real and on a long elliptical orbit, its return could align with the Anunnaki's prophesied reappearance. The Pentagon whistleblower, the DNA control theory. A recent bombshell claim from a Pentagon insider suggests the Anunnaki are returning soon, and they still exert control over humanity. They manipulate human DNA, keeping us genetically restricted, only 20 out of 64 codons active. They feed on negative energy, meaning human fear and chaos may empower them. This aligns with theories from researchers like Greg Braden and Simon Parkes, who argue that our dormant DNA could unlock superhuman abilities if we break free from Anunnaki-imposed limitations. Are we ready for their return? If the Anunnaki do return, humanity faces critical questions. Are they benevolent or malevolent? Ancient texts depict them as both creators and oppressors. Will they come to help us evolve or reassert control? What does this mean for human sovereignty? If they truly engineered us, do they still see us as property? Or will they acknowledge our independence? Is Nibiru a real threat? If Nibiru's approach triggers planetary upheaval, as some predict, are the Anunnaki coming to save us or exploit the chaos? Final verdict: myth, conspiracy, or coming reality. The idea of the Anunnaki's return sits at the crossroads of ancient mythology, Sumerian tablets, global flood legends, modern astronomy, Planet X theories, IRAS anomalies, conspiracy claims, Pentagon leaks, DNA manipulation, possible scenarios. They return as predicted. If Nibiru approaches and the Anunnaki reappear, humanity must decide whether to welcome or resist them. It's a misinterpretation. Nibiru may be a myth, and the Anunnaki's return could be a metaphor for spiritual awakening. Psychological warfare. Could the whistleblower claims be disinformation to manipulate public belief in extraterrestrial control? The ultimate question, who are we really? If the Anunnaki created us, then our history is a lie. Our potential is artificially limited. Our future may not be ours to control. Whether myth or reality, the Anunnaki narrative forces us to confront humanity's origins, destiny, and the possibility that we are not alone and never have been. One thing is certain, if they do return, the world will never be the same. Final thought. The Anunnaki's story is either the greatest secret of human history or the most elaborate ancient myth ever told. Until definitive proof emerges, we are left to wonder and prepare. Are we the creation of gods or their property? The answer may come sooner than we think.
Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Drop a comment below with your thoughts. I love hearing from you. Check out more videos on the screen, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.